The final and fifth mark of mission is to strive to safeguard the integrity of creation and sustain and renew the life of the earth. I say final, but the 5 marks are not listed in any order of hierarchy. Rather, it's together that they speak of what it looks like to proclaim the good news of the kingdom. The climate crisis has been a hot topic this summer, quite literally, as we've baked in soaring temperatures. Even more so in other parts of Europe and across the globe, as severe heat waves have seen raging wildfires. In other areas, there have been serious flooding. We may have become more conscious of the effects here in the UK, but in other parts of the world, the threat is stark and immediate. Talking with fellow bishops at the Lambeth Conference this summer, this message really hit home. In one conversation with a bishop from the Philippines, for example, I learned not only about an increase in flooding and the real prospect of land disappearing under the rising sea, but tragically the bishop's own son had recently died as a direct result of a severe heat wave. It was very appropriate that a whole day at the Lambeth Conference was devoted entirely to the 5th mark of mission, shared by the Anglican Communion. And one of the initiatives launched was the vision for an Anglican Communion forest. A first tree was planted in the garden of Lambeth Palace in the first act of what is envisaged as a global movement of reforestation and habitat renewal. Bishops were encouraged to launch initiatives in their dioceses which help to regenerate the ecosystem. Not necessarily tree planting, but perhaps restoring grasslands or taking action to prevent the destruction of the rainforest. Here in the Church of England, Birmingham, we are already committed to putting the 5th mark of mission into action. We're currently working towards our Silver Eco Diocese Award. We're working hard on reaching our 2030 net zero carbon target, and as a diocesan synod, we've supported divestment from fossil fuel companies. Many of our local churches are doing their bit, registering with EcoChurch through Erosha UK, nurturing biodiversity in their churchyard, and more besides. This is all heading in the right direction, but there is so much more that we can do. I invite you to think and pray about your response to this 5th mark of mission, which is central to the mission to which Christ calls us. Perhaps we might also think about how we take up the challenge of the Anglican Communion Forest Initiative. For example, I'd love to hear more about where church communities are restoring habitats, and to be invited perhaps to plant a tree by each church I visit over the coming year. It's important to remember that in our own response to all the environmental challenges, we're not called to doom, gloom and despondency, but we have a gospel message of hope to proclaim. The Bible speaks not just of God's good purposes for humankind, but of God's plan for the fulfilment of all creation, in which men and women made in God's own image are called to play a part. We've been given the ability to steward wisely the resources of the earth, the power to harm or to heal the environment and God's creatures, who are our brothers and sisters, as St. Francis knew and named them. The cross and the resurrection are not just about our own individual salvation, about me and my relationship with God. Rather, they signal the dawn of a new creation, a new community of creation, living in harmony, the lion with the lamb. And this new creation is to be inhabited and tended by a new and renewed humanity, restored in God's image. As the New Testament letter to the Romans expresses it, the whole creation waits with eager longing for the revealing of the children of God. The creation itself looks to be set free from its bondage to decay. Indeed, we're told the creation has been groaning as if in labour pains, as it longs for the day when human beings will fulfill their true God-given vocation within the wider creation. And so the 5th mark of mission, To strive to safeguard the integrity of creation and sustain and renew the life of the earth is right there at the heart of the good news that we have to share. For we do have good news of a creation made and loved by God, a creation for which God has a plan. And as some in environmental action groups like to say, there is no planet B.